What's up, guys? You got pokeaim here with the finals of the Dream World OU Tour from Black and White. I'm playing We3 Kings, and in the other game I'm playing P2. We all made it to finals. We all beat each other, so there was a tiebreaker, and this is the best of one tiebreaker. So first off, we have the post-commentated match versus We3 Kings. I'm actually bringing the team that Tony and my boy Tony Flagon, we built for BKC, and because I didn't really have the time to build again and Tony was busy as well, I didn't really do too much to this team. Actually, the only thing I changed on it was change my HP Flying on my Thunderous to HP Ice. HP Flying might have been more helpful this game. It depends, because I mean HP Ice does hit Gliscor and Amoonguss, but obviously HP Flying at +2, because I am Nasty Plot Thunder Wave, would be able to knock out Amoonguss. So a little bit of I'm okay with the change, just because Gliscor can be a little bit annoying depending on the set, and my opponent's team is very slow. I think his only Scarf user is Genesect. I do not think that Tyranitar would be Scarf on this team. Well, it could be Bandit or Scarf. It depends really on the Bronzong set, and as you see in the game, I play according to what I believe the sets are. So I decided to lead off with Gliscor versus him, just because I can get up my Toxic Orb right away for free. I am Protect, so it is actually free. It does cost me 1 PP, Chimpack. I'm sorry, but it is free. I did not pay for it. I just logged into Pokemon Showdown. Okay, I guess I paid for this internet, but you know, I don't care. Anyway, I lead off with Gliscor because I can get off my Toxic Orb immediately versus his team. It also matches up well versus Tyranitar. I can Protect Scout versus Genesect, and I can just get off the Toxic Orb as it leads off a Rotom. Goes right for the Will-O-Wisp. That does not matter because obviously I protected, so great. Toxic Orb, Toxic Heal activated. So I decided to switch out to my Tyranitar because Tyranitar does nothing this game at all. I don't have Ice Beam for Gliscor. I do have Fire Blast for his Genesect, but I don't have Super Power for his own Tyranitar, so I decided if he wants to burn me again, let Tyranitar get burnt. I don't care. I can get up my rocks. He doubles onto Bronzong, I believe, scouting for the Toxic, because if I'm sub-Toxic, then it can beat Rotom, depending on the set. So he doubles out into Bronzong. Smart play, but not bad for me because I can get up my rocks. As he chooses to go for Gyro Ball, now this was a huge hint to me that this Bronzong is not his rocker. Tyranitar is more than likely his rocker, because that's just one of the opportunities where you can get up your rocks for absolute nothing. So I decided to launch a Fire Blast right here as I missed. A little bit unfortunate. His Gyro Ball, I believe he didn't have the minimum speed IV, if I'm not mistaken, so I guess it makes up for it. Not really though, but his Gyro Ball really wouldn't be doing too much anyway. So I throw off another Fire Blast as Tyranitar is going to come in. Unfortunately, I do miss again. That damage might come into play later, who knows, but I decided to actually go out into my Magnezone. Now, it might seem like a weird play. Why would you go out to a Pokemon weak to fighting to a Pokemon weak to fighting? I knew this was Stealth Rock 100% because Bronzong did not click Stealth Rock. That was the best opportunity for Bronzong to get up rocks versus me. And he didn't go for it. He decided to Gyro Ball for 19% on my support Tyranitar. So I went to Magnezone just because I can get off a little bit of chip damage with the Volt Switch. I'm pretty sure this is Chople Berry Tyranitar, just because he's pretty weak to Gengar, pretty weak to Thunderous depending. So I decided to Volt Switch right here, figuring if he did have superpower he would go for it. I go out to Gliscor, get that -1 defense on him, and then knock him out with Earthquake. So that's exactly what I proceed to do. Go right for that Earthquake, as he is going to switch out to Bronzong. Now, it was definitely possible that this Bronzong had HP Ice, especially because it had a free slot on it. I'm assuming it'd be Toxic, Gyro Ball, HP Ice, maybe Earthquake, anything like that. So I decided to SD up just to see what he goes for, as he goes for the Gyro Ball. So I was like, okay, does he not have HP Ice? Do I win right here with this Gliscor or Gliscor? I'm going to be going back and forth with them just because it's potato. Okay, no, it's potato. But in any case, he does reveal the HP Ice. It does nothing because I am Spadef. Considering that's 4 times effective, it did less than half, so I consider that nothing. So I go for Protect just to get a little bit more HP before I do switch out. This will allow me to better switch into Tyranitar as well as Amoonguss later on, as I can switch directly into my Starmie. Now, because if I throw off a Scald right here, Tyranitar does have potential to be 2-hit KO'd after rocks damage, and if a burn, obviously Tyranitar cannot beat me. I decided to go right for Rapid Spin, expecting Rotom or Amoonguss to want to come in, and getting rid of this rocks really does help my Thunderous. His team is so slow outside of what I'm expecting to be Scarf Genesect at this point. And Thunderous, with a little bit of chip damage on Rotom, on Tyranitar, can just plow through him. So I have to go out to my Tyranitar because, again, it is useless. I don't care if it gets burnt. Unfortunately for my opponent, he does miss the fire move. We cannot hit fire moves this game to save our lives. And I decided just to click Pursuit here just in case he opts to Volt Switch on out of there, because it could give Gliscor its Toxic Orb if you want to do that. And because he missed that, I actually got off enough damage with Pursuit that Rotom dies flat out to Thunderbolt from Thunderous. So Great that I got off that pursuit right there as he is able to go out to Gliscor. I don't want to stay in. I don't know if he's sub-toxic. I don't know his set. I decided to go out to my own Gliscor because if he does go for the Earthquake here or sub and he is sub-toxic, not only do I get Poison Heal back, but I can beat him 1v1, again, depending on his set. So I decided to SD up because I'm not sure if he's actually Ice Fang. As it turns out, he is Ice Fang. Now, I could protect on my Gliscor to beat him, but I think it's more likely that he'll go for either SD or Ice Fang right here. So I opt to go out to my Mamoswine. It is Thick Fat, so I'll tank the Ice Fang. Like, that did 9. That did 9, guys. And he actually forgot that in this generation, Mamoswine does run Icicle Sphere, so I'm able to hit him with 3. If I got 4, Gliscor would have been gone, but that's completely fine because I do threaten him. I am faster. I can knock him out with Icicle Sphere or Ice Shard. Because Bronzong is pretty much his best switch, especially because Rotom is so low, and Mamoswine did run Superpower in this generation from time to time, so if I Icicle Spirit again and then Superpowered, Rotom would die. I actually decided to go for Knockoff. Now, it is Gen 5, and Knockoff is only 20 base power, but I have it specifically for this tier because everything runs Shed Shell. Skarmory runs Shed Shell, Amoonguss runs Shed Shell. Not his, but they do run Shed Shell because of Chandelure, Shadow Tag Chandelure being in the tier. So I decided to go for Knockoff, which does end up catching the Bronzong upon switching. So its leftovers, its recovery is gone, which again will help my Thundurus later on. It also helps Magnezone, it helps Starmie beat it, helps Gliscor beat it 1v1 easier. So I decided to go route to Magnezone because I really didn't think he would Earthquake there, especially because Thundurus or Gliscor could come in. So I figured HP Ice or Gyro Ball was coming out as he decides to show the Protect. So I'm actually not sure if he has the Earthquake at this point, but either way, my best play is Volt switching right out into my Starmie as he goes for another Gyro Ball. So I really do think that he has Toxic Protect, maybe HP Ice and Gyro Ball. This is one of his answers to Subcom Mind Lottie. Obviously, Tyranitar does the same thing. I decided to double out, though, into my Gliscor because I expect maybe Tyranitar or Rotom to want to come out. Rotom wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Rotom too much because I could just Facade it and then get off enough damage to anything on my team can knock it out, like Mamoswine. But he decides to bring out his Amoonguss. So, at this point, Gliscor can beat it 1v1 if I SD up enough, but his own Gliscor is faster than me, and Ice Fang would be able to beat me down after a couple Giga Drains. So I decided to go out to my Tyranitar because I could get off a Fire Blast, and what Fire Blast would do is put it in range of +2 HP Ice. Of course, depending on damage rolls and, you know, Regenerator and things like that. But I missed a Fire Blast yet again. We can't hit any fire moves in this game, as he is able to put me to sleep with the Spore. Now, he can make a few plays right here. I figured Genesect is definitely one of them, so I actually decided to double onto my Magnezone. The reason I thought Genesect was just a great play because it covered all switches I could make if it Scarfed Genesect. And I did not think he would stay in double Giga Drain just because my Thundurus could come out, or I could either try and burn my sleep turns with Tyranitar. So I decided to double out into my Magnezone. Now, I'm not Scarf Magnezone. I'm actually Shed Shell Magnezone. What Shed Shell Magnezone does is it's not trapped by Shadow Tag, and it just allows me to freely use Magnezone for what it's supposed to do, trap Steel types. So I put him in a position where, because he got the special attack raise, if he is Scarf, he's going for Flamethrower. And I decided to take advantage of that and go directly into my Tyranitar. Not going to risk Magnezone when it can knock out Rotom with Thunderbolt. It can knock out Gliscor with Flash Cannon. It can 2-hit KO Amoonguss depending on the damage taken, and it can also 2-hit KO Bronzong. So Magnezone is definitely useful. He does go for the Flamethrower, then he switches out as I brought out Tyranitar. So I'm pretty positive that he is Scarf Genesect, as I think I just confirmed right there. So decided to burn off a turn and just stay in. I would have doubled again into Tyranitar, from Tyranitar into Thundurus earlier, if I thought that he wasn't, or that I thought that he wasn't Scarf and would go for U-turn. But at the same time, you know, Tyranitar doesn't do anything for me. So I decided right here it's the best time to go out to my Thundurus, as it's more likely that he'll go for the Earthquake over Ice Fanging, just because Gliscor can definitely take a Facade from me, and my only Pokemon that can dodge it outside of Thundurus is my own Gliscor, and like I said, he can Ice Fang that if he wanted to, so I thought he wouldn't go for Ice Fang there, especially because Starmie is also a potential switch, and so I go to Thundurus right here, and what I decided to do is actually Nasty Plot up, knowing that I could take an Ice Fang, and honestly thinking he would switch out. Now, he goes out to Amoonguss, kind of interesting play, because what can he really do to me? I guess Sludge Bomb if he wanted to. He can't Spore me because Tyranitar is asleep. However, my opponent forgets that basically it's custom game, so it wouldn't have let him click this if it wasn't a custom game, I'm pretty sure. But Tyranitar was asleep, so I technically win the game right here, but I decided to just play it out. I was like, dude, it's okay. And he just said he would click Spore repeatedly until I wake up my Thundurus. So my opponent did break Sleep Clause right there, but we were fine with it. So he basically said, okay, I'm just going to click Spore until you you wake up. Now this is actually worse for my opponent because he did have the opportunity to potentially get off a bit of damage if he had Sludge Bomb or a hidden power of his choice, and what that could have done was that would have put me in range of Genesec's Ice Beam without the special attack boost, because I EV'd my Thunderous so he doesn't get the special attack boost on Genesec when it comes in. He only gets the attack boost. So right here I 100% know I live Ice Beam. I live Ice Beam max damage roll with Sand. My best play is to go for the Thunder Wave as he actually uses U-turn, expecting me to want to switch out. It's also the fact that I have Magnezone in the back, so it's really tough for my opponent. That's why I love Magnezone on this team, because if he did go for Ice Beam and then went Magnezone, trap. So that's what he expected me to do. I went for my best play, which I thought was Thunder Wave, because unless he crit me, I wasn't losing my Thunderous this turn. I slowed down his Genesect and I won with Magnezone, or I won with Thunderous. So I am able to paralyze him right there as he is going to go out to Tyranitar. Now the thing is also in this generation, rarely did Tyranitar run Stone Edge if it was support tar. Pursuit and Crunch are needed for Subcombine Lottie or Lotties in general. Stealth Rock, and then he already showed Superpower, so rarely did they run Stone Edge. So I know that also with Sand, I do take any attack he wants to go for, and I can just go for Thunderbolt. I do take the Crunch. Even with Sand up, like I said, I take that hit, and he decides to forfeit right here because it was over. His Genesect couldn't even have Extreme Speed because it was not Shiny Genesect, so there was no way that he was winning right there. So I end up winning versus We3 Kings, and now we have my battle versus P2. In order to win this tour, I have to beat We3 Kings and P2. So here we have a game versus P2. I'm actually reusing the black and white team that I used in the first round with Curse-Lax. I made Genesect Scarf though for this game, so I have double Scarfer in this game, but I decided to lead off with my Deoxys because it is just anti-lead Deoxys, or just Spike's lead Deoxys, as it leads off with Tyranitar. Now, I'm assuming he has a bit of attack investment because he does straight up OHKO me. At first I thought he might have been banded, but I'm going to get my Stealth Rock as I can go out to Genesect. I get the attack boost, and what I can do is just go right for that U-turn, getting off a hell of a lot on Tyranitar as I can go right out into my Politoed. I figured if he stayed in, he'd either go for Stealth Rock or go for the Fire move, so Politoed was just my best switch. And I decided to double into my Genesect because there was a few plays he could make here. He could go out to Manaphy or he can go out to Lottie. Both of them were pretty safe on Politoed. There's no way he was staying in and losing the Weather War immediately. So I double out to Genesect as I am able to catch Manaphy. And what I can do is just hit that thing with the U-turn. Now, unfortunately, because I don't really have attack investment, I'm just hasty natured. I don't do too much, but I U-turn directly out into my Politoed. Now, the reason I made this play is because at that HP and after U-turn, one, it's more likely he's going for Scald. He has no reason not to go for Scald. Two, Politoed does 2-hit KO with Scarf Hydro Pump at that range. So I take the Scald. I also take an Energy Ball after. So I decided to go for Hydro Pump because I do 2-hit KO him, and I miss. Now that really sucked because even with Leftovers recovery, Manaphy was 2-hit KO'd. Again, I had to hit 2 Hydro Pumps, so it wasn't really that high or in my favor. But now I'm in a bad position because his Manaphy, it's faster than my Zapdos. It speed ties with my own Manaphy. It's just really, really bad for me. So I could have 2-hit KO'd him, and now I'm not going for it because he's more likely going to go for Energy Ball this turn. So I got to my Manaphy on the Energy Ball. Might not have made too much sense, but basically if I won the speed tie right here and went for the rest, he wouldn't be able to 2-hit KO me. Unfortunately, I do lose the speed tie though. So this Manaphy, which was the bane of my existence, dodged 2 hits and won the speed tie versus my Manaphy, where I could rest off and then hit him with the Energy Ball. But I go out to Zapdos, I am Yachi Berry, and I actually decided to Agility up. Now, only reason I made this play is because if he was offensive Lottie, I could Roost Stall him and then Thunder and knock him out. Tyranitar lost to HP Water. Excadrill is 2-hit KO by HP Water. I do knock out Deoxys with Thunder. I knock out Manaphy with Thunder. I knock out Skarmory with Thunder. So basically, if he was offensive Lottie, I had a good chance of just winning right here. Unfortunately, I do see Leftovers. So what I decided to do is just try and paralyze him with my Thunder as he goes for the Calm Mind. I didn't want to go directly into my Genesect because I wasn't sure like exactly what type of Lottie it was. I'm pretty sure it was like maybe Sub Calm Mind, maybe Calm Mind Refresh. But throws out that Dragon Pulse right here as I am able to bring out my Genesect. Now I do threaten him with the Thunder. He has like one switch in, U-turn. He has one switch in the U-turn. That's definitely being Skarmory. So even though it's +1 Lottie, I don't care. I'm going to go right for Thunder as Skarmory does come out. And I'm able to get rid of one of the Mons that can beat my Curse-Lax. So right there, put in a bad position, I'm able to get rid of it. Unfortunately, even though I am Choice Scarf, Deoxys speed is faster, so it can go right for Fire Punch. I decided to switch out to my Snorlax just in case he was a Fire Punch variant, as that does 4. That actually did 4. That healed me, man, that turn. I actually healed myself. Now, he could definitely go for Superpower if he wants to this turn. I was very very scared of that. So I decided to double out into my Politoed just in case he went for that, so I can get the -1 and then start cursing up. Goes on to Manaphy though, and at this point I hope to hit a Hydro Pump. I do hit it and I get a crit. A little bit too late though. I definitely needed to hit it earlier to get rid of Manaphy, so I didn't have to sack, you know, my Manaphy for no reason and then half my Politoed's HP. But unfortunately he's able to knock me out with his own revenge crit. I don't think that crit mattered at all. I died. But now what I can do is go out into my Genesect. I get the special attack boost and I can spam Bug Buzz. Kills Tyranitar. Manaphy dies to rocks. I doubt he would save it at this point, as I'm able to knock it out. Tyranitar is going to come out. Smart on his part because Sand is here to stay. My Weather Starter is gone. My Weather Abuser is gone. I actually decided to switch out to Zapdos because if I want to win this game, my chance is him going for Fire Move and me Roost stalling a bit. And then pretty much just trying to be at enough HP that I could take on his Excadrill. Unfortunately, he goes right for Crunch right there. Good play, though. Definitely a good play because it gave me the least amount if I did switch out that turn. Also, True KO'd me with accuracy. So I got to Snorlax right here, and I easily take his Crunch. So I'm able to curse up. Now, it's do I go for Body Slam, predicting his Excadrill? Because I actually played a very similar team when I played P2 before, and it was Air Balloon Excadrill, so I kind of figured it would be. So it's like, do I go for Body Slam here, expecting his Excadrill to want to come out and breaking its balloon and then knocking out an Earthquake? And even at that point, I have to dodge Psycho Boosts with my Snorlax to win. So I decided to go for the rest right here, because that allows me, if he does choose to stay in, that allows me to take advantage of the Tyranitar and set up. He does make the correct play though, which is going directly into Excadrill, and he is going to go right for the Swords Dance, and that's pretty much going to be game because a +2 boosted Excadrill. I'm not Sleep Talk. I have Rest, Earthquake, and Body Slam because this was one of the Chandler answers to the team. But +2 Earthquake is going to be able to 2-hit KO my Snorlax before I can wake up, and Snorlax is going to go right down. So Snorlax goes down, and then even Scarf Genesect is outsped by Sandrush Excadrill. So that's going to be game. And unfortunately, P2 did beat W3K, so there's not going to be another tiebreaker. I definitely think that if my Hydro Pump hit Manaphy earlier on, I had a chance because I would 2-hit KO the Manaphy. Even if I just scared it out into Lottie, Manaphy would be so low it can never take U-turns. It can never take any attack from any of my mons. And my own Manaphy would be alive to eat hits from Excadrill and go for, you know, Surf. Eat a hit from Deoxys if it needed to. But that's the way the game goes. And if I didn't want to miss, I could have used, you know, Water Gun or Scald. But the thing is, they wouldn't have KO'd Manaphy. But in any case, congratulations to P2. He did end up winning the tournament. Because like I said, he did beat W3K. It was a very fun tour. Thank you so much to Tony who prepped with me. That's the best part about this tournament, just building with my boy Tony. I love building with Tony. But I hope you guys all enjoyed. Of course, feel free to leave a like. You can subscribe, do your thing. And I will see you guys later. Cue the outro.